and we're here at Juegos Miami 2018 following the discussion about regulating online gaming. Now we are with Mauro de Fabritiis from MAG. Thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you for the invitation.
Mauro, please tell us a little bit about MAG.
Okay, MAG is a consultancy company really focused on the gambling sector since 2004. We started our activity in Italy with two main business lines. One strictly dedicated to advisory to regulators. And we started with the Italian consultancy during 5 years, and then we moved to Europe with France and Spain with online gambling regulation. And quite recently we moved to Colombia with our assessment to the Colombian regulator called Juegos for the full online regulation and the general framework for slots in not specialized shops. The other line of business MAG is pushing since 14 years is the support to operators in regulated markets. So our services moves from the definition of the strategy to the business model of the operators, and we find way to help operators adapting their model to the specific environment and increase their business in terms of effectiveness, revenues, and so on. And on the other side, to find way to be efficiency and save costs. That is basically what MAG does. I'm one of the partners of the company. We are a little boutique, but really focused on the sector. And quite recently, we started integrating also the technological part of the business. So we are able to offer a full service to both the regulators and operators to help improving their model.
Well, as a consulting company now focusing in technology, as you just mentioned, how do you see the path of growth of the online gaming in the industry?
I will be focused on the potentiality of what is happening, and also I can say that if we compare what was the scenario 20 years or less than 20 years ago and now, the scenario is so different and the sector is so young but moving so quickly.
Okay.
So at the beginning we were in a big picture of 5, 6 countries regulated, and now we have all Europe, the majority of the countries in Europe already regulated in terms of jurisdictions, and some other countries about to regulate in Latin America and quite recently in North America, and in Colombia represents like the train pushing this regulatory wave, and so the point is what should the different regulators do in order to provide an effective regulation in terms of fighting against the black market, the illegal market? Because the point is that, and we were discussing about this issue in the panel today, is that the regulatory framework should be attractive for the operator in order to move the operator to apply for specific tenders. So there are some points like taxation, like the perimeter of the offer in terms of having a complete offer of regulated games, and the rules for the customer to approach to the gaming, and then the responsible gaming and other things that should be fitting with what the some operators have in other markets in order to allow them to make their business sustainable. If the business is not sustainable, the operator will look for other markets or gray markets, or in the worst case, black markets. So the issue I put on the table is if the different states in Latin America want to attract operators and want to turn the black into white market, and speed up this process, they should find common milestones to make to let's say to implement a regulation model that has similarities between countries in order to help the operator process. If not, it's difficult for the operator to apply everywhere if the cost is too high, especially if the country is not so big. If the country is not Brazil but is a small reality.
Well, I think the key, as you said, is to be attractive, to make sense for the operators, right? So my other questions is in regards of Juegos Miami. You see, how do you see this platform and how it's working to help, grow and engage the whole industry in Latin America?
I think that Juegos Miami, both from a logistical point of view and for the fact that it represent Latin America as point of meeting of many operators and regulators, could work in an effective way. On my personal perspective, what I see is that we are trying to help regulators to improve their models, also taking into account from the errors of other experience in Europe. And so this is Juegos Miami could be the platform where regulators could exchange their idea and maybe start with the definition of a regulatory model that is completely new. They have not to follow all the steps other regulators have been involved in the past because things have changed, technology has changed, and so maybe they could do something better than other countries in Europe have done. And our task is to help these regulators to do so, and also on the other side to help the operators. I see, let's say, a positive mood in Juegos Miami to help every actors of the value chain speak each other.
Well, thank you so much. We just spoke to Mauro de Fabritiis from MAG, live from Juegos Miami 2018.